I feel like I'm in the wrong spot. Good morning, creatures. Welcome back to episode 2. If you're here, thank you. Great news is you're clearly here. To everybody who is tuned into episode 2 right now, I just want to start with thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I cannot believe the outpour of support and love that I have gotten from friends and even random people. I have received so much love, and I can't express to you guys how much it motivates me to keep doing this. So, to dive right into episode 2, I actually got a great question. I don't think everyone knows this type of help or thinks it even exists. How do I/we get started on this journey? I actually had something that I wanted to talk about this week, but I think this is such a good question. I mean, there really is no definitive answer to give for that. This just really isn't that type of journey that you wake up one day and I want to do this. I want to go in this direction. If I'm being honest and coming from my direction, I mean, I had to hit rock bottom like 12 times just to get on this journey. But everybody on this journey is going to have a different answer for you. You don't get on this journey. This journey finds you. This is just something that is completely out of your control. I think we're finally becoming a little more normalized that there are alternative ways to achieve and get what we desire in life, especially when you're talking about a journey of healing and self-love and achieving peace and being happy, helping others, learning to be yourself. I think a lot of these things we're just finally starting to realize that traditional therapy might not go deep enough to really help you solve specific problems in your life. Please don't ever take that out of context because I have zero things against traditional therapy. I think talk therapy is great for a temporary relief. I think talking to somebody really releases emotions that we need to let go of, especially having that unbiased, non-judgmental opinion of really things that we don't want to admit to others or cannot admit to others. I think that that type of release is a huge stepping stone to really get you moving forward, to create a pathway to more clarity and more awareness of the things that you do want to change in your life and how to achieve that. The complicated part of finding and being on this journey is the fact that there are not a lot of tools out there to get you to continue in it. And I do want to constantly help people because I didn't have those tools. I didn't have the knowledge or support. I searched and searched and searched. The thing is, I will spread as much knowledge as I possibly can and everything that I have and everything that I've learned. But this really unfortunate thing is that this journey is so trial and error and unique. And it isn't one of those things that you just get to wake up and say, I'm going to start on this today. It only comes when you're ready. Your mind naturally starts desiring change, desiring more. It's really about becoming aware of when you're in that position. When you start to become uncomfortable with the way you're living, all from addictions to reactions to relationship cycles that you keep being put in, career cycles that you keep getting put in, you start hitting a point where everything feels uncomfortable. And then on top of it, when you do get into this journey, that happens so many more times because it really isn't just that you wake up, get on it, fix it, good, we're straight. Man, do I wish that was the case. But there are things that you have to repeat. You start hitting this point where you just feel like you cannot win. You feel like there is no moving forward. I'll try to give a short analogy. When the people that I love are in negative relationships, when they're being told by the world they need to leave, and then they go home and they overthink every single situation. They feel like they're being dragged apart because you love somebody, you want to stay. But also on the other hand, you have all of your family and friends that are telling you that this is wrong and you need to make a change on it. So of course you trust these people around you, but you also trust this person as well. And what I tell everybody in this situation is wait. And I know that sounds absolutely insane, but at the end of the day, if you rush to change or to leave, you are going to go back every single time. But if you step back and you reflect and you really allow yourself to feel everything, you will always hit a point in your life that you get so fed up that there is no option but change. And that is also the best way I can describe getting on this journey. I know that's a little off the wall, but I'm 100% serious. You get looped in these programming, in these negative mindsets, in trash talking yourself, in poor career choices, everything that makes you unhappy. You get stuck in these uncomfortable positions that you feel like you can't get out of. And the longer and longer you stay in that comfort zone, you hit a point where you're done. You're fed up. And there is no other option anymore. Then you start seeing things differently. You start wanting different things. And you might not know how to get those yet, but your mindset has changed, which also means your frequency has changed, which also means your alignment becomes entirely different than it ever was. And then boom, welcome to the journey. Welcome to conscious intuition. And I do truly mean that it finds you because not everybody is meant to be on this journey. That's also why finding a community is so important, because unfortunately, it's not going to be where one day down the road, you find this large percentage of the world that thinks the exact same way as you do. The start of this process is so difficult because you go through all these phases of life and phases of transitions and transformations that genuinely make you feel crazy because your entire mind is shifting. Everything that you have ever known becomes wrong. Every coping mechanism, every defense mechanism, every action, reaction, and response do this like slow burning fade away. And you have one side of your brain that is like trying to grasp onto it still, while the other side of you is like, no, we're starting to finally feel this. I'm starting to finally feel better. I'm finding peace. I'm finding happiness. All these new emotions are being brought up and they're not horrible. I want to chase that. So then you get stuck in this like back and forth dynamic of what route do we go? What's actually right or wrong? Now I have 37 different directions that I can go to. Which one do I take? And then you start learning and feeling what your intuition is, which is still, to this day, one of the hardest things to connect to. You start becoming more aware of your body, what foods it's telling you to eat, what experiences to stay away from. You become aware of your heart rate, your breathing. Then you start this worldwide search of what this all means. How do we go through it? Where can I find new information about it? You start reaching out to the people that you've known forever, and they start not understanding what you're saying to them. And there are so many moments that you feel like your world is truly falling apart, which honestly to me is hilarious because it is. I mean, seriously, think about it. Like your entire being is falling apart. So we start going into this like scared mode, that fear mode, that all that gets brought up. You're questioning everything. And when you're doing it alone, that fear sits around for so long because you don't have somebody telling you those positive little thoughts about it. Like your world is falling apart because you're rebuilding a new one. To tell you that those relationships were meant to break you because you had to break to become new. That they didn't leave you because you weren't good enough. They left you because they weren't good enough. Because you were starting to get up here and you just can't align with somebody that's still right here. That you didn't lose your job because you don't deserve money, because you're not meant to be successful. You lost it because you are. And that wasn't going to get you there. You weren't taught the bigger picture, the silver linings, the real reason beyond that tiny little tunnel vision that we get when we're in deep pain, or the knowledge that if you stayed comfortable, you wouldn't be on this journey. You would have never gotten here. We had to break you to wake you up. Some people, it takes a bottle across the head. Some people, it takes getting shoved off the Grand Canyon. And if you're on my side of things, hello. That was a very long fall. And you can be the one that figured this out in your 20s, or you could be the one that figured this out in your 60s. But regardless, it happened for a reason. It happened so you could learn and influence others to do the exact same thing. We are on this journey to give knowledge to other people. I went through years of the victim mentality of why me? Why does all of this have to happen to me? Why don't I get a break? Why can't I just be happy? I was also extremely stubborn and was allowing myself to go through cycle after cycle after cycle until I learned it, until I really started seeing every experience for what it was meant to do in my life. And not everybody is meant to be on this specific journey, but every single person on this planet deserves knowledge and love and hope and a way out and a new perspective and the truth of who they are, of what happiness looks like, of how to find peace. It is possible for us to create a world where it doesn't take so long to learn. The only thing you need is an open mind and to want it. Then we can start getting into more of the details of, meditation, affirmations, positive self-talk, why all of it happens. We're just going to have to accept the fact that this smacks you in the face. You're going to have to learn real quick how to roll with the punches. So moral of the story before I start rambling for the rest of my life, because I can, there is no getting out of this journey. It found you. It's meant for you. And you can ignore it all you want, but you are going to feel it. And it is going to suck. So this beautiful community is just going to make it a little easier to get through. Also, once you're in it, you're kind of like locked into it as well. And there will be a lot of times that you try to get out of it as much as you possibly can, but it doesn't work and it'll never work. And it makes you feel really gross to the point where sometimes it can bring this like almost out of body feeling. Like you literally don't feel like you anymore. That also very well could be the fact that most people that are on this journey are empaths. So you also get the joy of feeling everybody else's everything as well. And then you have to learn how to decipher your emotions from everybody else's emotions. And that's a fun ball game. So I guess I kind of rambled into the fact that there is no answer of how to get on this journey. You're just here, or you're just going to be here, and you're just going to stay here. And I'm welcoming you with open arms and giving you all the love in the world. And if more of us can come together and stay together, we can create a place where this help is more accessible and easily found. As for topics, I think I'm going to start pretty big. And I think we're just going to dive right in to self-love next week and the truth behind it, how to achieve it, how to become aware of it, how to practice it, and why it's so important. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I am super excited to discuss this next week. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you get a notification for next week's episode. If you are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other platforms, please make sure you download and never forget to reach out. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. If there's something that you want to hear, if you just need motivation for a day or anything you want advice on. And always, in all ways, be present, be calm, and be a creature. I'll see you guys next week.